Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. I am Chris Gardner, KG, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Happy NBA regular season schedule release day. The league will announce the NBA schedule later on today in about 4.5, 5 hours. Got a few heavy hitters in the college coaching world scheduled to join me as well on today's show. And we'll have fun talking about that, getting some info from them, maybe perhaps regarding their non-conference schedules, their thoughts on basketball, who knows, maybe some NIL discussion or good things like that. The first guest going to have lined up in a few minutes is head coach Byron Smith from Prairie View A&M, who I'm not sure he would want to say how long we've known each other. We go back a few years. Of course, Byron is a U8 alum, one of the best shooters in Houston Cougars men's basketball history. Bragging on him a little bit. He can do more for that when he's ready to go. We'll get him on in about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to make fun of him right now because he can't make fun of me just yet. He's not the most tech savvy guy in the world. He's not quite yet in the 21st century. He's not big on social media, that's for sure. But he's a good dude. I'm making fun of him because I see him in the studio and he's not ready to quite just join me. But real quickly, the Houston Roundball Review Takeover is available on Facebook, Twitch, Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. If you don't have that app, go to BS3 Network and watch it that way. Or, of course, go to Roku and download the BS3 Network app. And naturally, if you're watching the show on YouTube, it's available on YouTube as well at Houston Roundball Review. So let's get into it. I think, Coach Smith, if you're ready to go, we're going to bring you in, talk some Prairie View A&M men's basketball with head coach Byron Smith. Saw him Saturday at the Houston Independent School District Hall of Honor ceremony. It's good to see him. Hadn't seen him in a few months. But once he's ready, going to bring him in and see if he's ready to share with the audience Prairie View A&M's non-conference schedule. So, Coach Byron Smith, I'll bring you in. Let's see if we can have some fun. First of 3 guests lined up today on the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. Byron Smith, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chris.
I can't hear you, though. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear. That is weird.
Oh, 1 second.
Because I think I got my stuff turned up. I think I'm good. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm good. 1, 2, 3. Try it again. Are you going to try it on your phone? What y'all want to try to do? Say something.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. All right. Live technology, as I tell all my mentees, when it's live, you just roll with it and keep on moving. We'll try to bring Coach Smith in momentarily. But while we're waiting on that, Houston Cougars women's basketball made some news earlier today. They announced in addition to the coaching staff, bringing in Coach China Grimes. China Grimes, there's a part of the press release. Houston Cougars women's basketball head coach Ronald Huey added China Grimes as an assistant coach Thursday for the Cougs' inaugural Big 12 conference season. Houston is Grimes' 5th stop as an assistant coach after a single season stop at New Mexico State, 4 years at Gardner-Webb, 3 at UT Tyler, and 2 at Ole Miss. So we're going to try to go back to Coach Smith. Let's bring him in one more time. Coach, let's try it now. How you doing?
Doing well. Can you hear me, Chris?
Still can't hear you, Coach. I still can't.
Wow.
Let me try something. Let's see here.
Gotta be something.
Doing some fancy stuff.
How about now?
Just give me a test, Coach. Say something now.
Hello. Can you hear me, Chris?
Nope. Still can't hear.
It can't be anything with us, can it?
All these fancy technology gadgets and everything like that. We'll see how it goes. Because the microphones are working. AJ Jones is trust me with the kings to the kingdom. And and we're having technical issues here live on the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, and available on the
Can you hear us now?
BS3 network.
Can you hear us now?
And I see mouths moving, but I don't see anything. Let me see if I'm good here. No. Let me try. Well, keep saying something. Let's keep talking. It might be on my end, so don't worry about that.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
There we go. How about that? Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. It's good. Like I said, live streaming platforms, you make it do what it do. Byron Smith. Good to see you, man. Long time no see.
Yeah. Well, we saw each other Saturday, so yes. Before that, yes, it was a long time.
Yeah. How are you, first of all? Now that I can hear you and you can hear me, how are you, Coach?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you for asking.
All right. Well, you touched on it a little bit Saturday, if you don't mind sharing with the audience here. Who does PV have on its non-conference schedule?
We'll start out November 6th with Kansas Christian, NAIA opponent here at home. And then we'll get on the road. We'll play Seattle University. We'll play Washington State. We'll go out to Abilene Christian. We'll play in a 2-game MTE November 19th and 21st, UT Martin in Eastern Kentucky. Then we'll travel down south back to the great state of Louisiana, Tulane University, Green Wave on November 29th. Then we'll get on the road, Iowa State, Northern Iowa. We'll come back home right before Christmas, December 18th, against North American, NAIA opponent. And then we'll conclude with Rice on December 20th, UTSA on the 28th on the road, and Texas A&M on December 30th. And that will conclude our non-conference schedule. And then we'll get ready for conference play right after the 1st of January.
So if I heard you right, you got 2 home games.
Yes, correct.
How many road games?
10, 11. Yeah, 11, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And who put the schedule together? Is it you?
Coach Spencer Robinson, my associate head coach in waiting. Head
coach in waiting. Well, all right. Well, what are your thoughts on the schedule you put together? I like it.
I like it. I mean, obviously, it's a challenging, but I as most mid majors and schools at our level, you want to try to go out and play against really good competition, get used to some hostile environments, some really, really good teams to really get us prepared. For the really, really important time, which is conference play and heading into postseason. So I like it. We'll spend a little bit of time. Rice will be technically a home game for us. UTSA will be able to get some of our fans out. Tulane, we'll be traveling some of our fans. So we're not all over the country. We're spread out a little bit, but I still think it's a good enough schedule to where we can get some alums to come out and support us a little bit. Families can come out and watch their babies play. So I think it's a good competitive schedule. I think one that gives us a chance to win some of those games, and just to kind of get a good idea as to where we are, for this upcoming season, getting us into conference play. So we like it. To answer your question, I think it's a good schedule for us.
How is your roster for the upcoming season coming along?
Roster's full. I mean, I think we've got some really, really good pieces. We've got a few guys returning. Obviously, we had quite a few grad transfers last year, so we graduated quite a few. But I think we got some really good experienced players, new to Prairie View, but not new to college basketball. So I think it's a good mix of some young and a bit of experience. I won't say old. So I like our roster. Just got to come together, work hard. We had a pretty good summer with most of our guys and have everybody in, but we had a few of them in. The remaining balance is coming in this week. So we'll hit the practice floor next week and start working on our chemistry and our synergy, our camaraderie. But I like our roster, and I think we're going to be more than competitive this year. I like our chances.
Do you have any freshmen on the squad?
We've got one freshman, Orlando Horton Jr. From Clear Falls High School out in the Clear Lake area. I think a lot of people in the area kind of know about, a lot of people in the state kind of know about. So he's our lone freshman, but really excited about him and his contribution to our program this year.
And I think Orlando was a Guy V. Lewis Award finalist.
He was, correct. He definitely was that, yes.
So I know he can hoop, so that's good.
He can play a little bit, yes.
I always ask you this question, and your answer so far has not yet changed. But I'm going to ask you it again for everybody watching the show. Is there anybody on the roster who can shoot better than you?
No, Chris, and I try to be as humble as I possibly can, but the truth prevails, no matter how it sounds.
Does your staff agree with that?
So no.
So does anybody on your is anybody on
No
your
one
staff
has been able to knock me off in that regard.
is the objective to is the objective to recruit somebody one day who can shoot better than you?
Been really trying, been all over the world. I'm talking to even talking to Steph about little Cannon, his little 4-year-old son. Maybe I have to wait for him to be eligible for Division I to sign him to have someone to be better. But definitely been looking to get multiple guys that can really have high impact from the perimeter. We got some good shooters, just they're not great yet, but maybe by the end of the year, maybe they'll be great shooters, and that'll really help our chances to have a successful year.
For those who don't know much about Coach Byron Smith, let them know about your coaching background, then we get into your hooping background.
I mean, obviously, I started at the University of Houston when I finished my playing career, professional playing career, and obviously bounced around a little bit. Did some AAU stuff, did some Globetrotter stuff, did a lot of AAU stuff. Got an opportunity to come to Prairie View as an assistant back in 2013, and I've been here since then. So, been very blessed to be a part of this game as long as I have as a player and now as a coach. Think I've had a pretty successful stint, as a head coach. I mean, obviously we're not where we want to be. Last couple of years have just kind of been mediocre years when we had so much success when I first started back in 2016, 17. But feel really good about the impact that myself and my staff has been able to make. But just still got a long way to go. Got a lot to learn. Still learning each and every day, trying to become better each and every day. We've done some good things, but I think there's a lot of more work to be done. But I guess in terms of style, I mean, obviously, people laugh when I say this, kind of chuckle, because when I was a player, I wasn't very fond of defense, but that's kind of what I've become known as a defensive coach here at Prairie View. And that's kind of how we've structured our program to be defense first, and obviously fill in the gaps with our offense and things like that nature. But, I guess a hard-nosed, up-tempo, aggressive, intense type coach would be some of the adjectives to describe my coaching style. But again, I think we've done some good things here at Prairie View. I think we've raised a profile here at Prairie View. I think we're on the map, but still got some work to do. And I think we can be better. I think we will be better. Be more consistent throughout, my time here and what we've got left to do. So, a growing coach, like I said, with some things to learn, but feel like I've had great impact here at Prairie View with our student athletes in the 7 years that I've been head coach.
Who are the members of your coaching staff?
I have Spencer Robinson, who's getting ready to start his 5th year. He's been here. He's a veteran of our league, and I think he's a budding star in the business. I think when he gets an opportunity to be a head coach, I think he's going to do a really good job. We have Johnny Williams, who was over at Texas Southern for a couple of their championship runs, who brings a lot of experience, been around, quite a bit in some other places, Tennessee State and Alabama A&M. Jacob Galindo is our director of basketball operations, who's getting ready to be his 3rd year with us, and just does so many things for our program, and just really a tremendous asset, takes really good care of the players and all of our, equipment orders and our travel and, food and things like that. Just does a great job. And we've got one spot open that's has yet to be filled, and kind of going through that process right now, who we're going to bring in. But those are the 3 guys, Spencer Robinson, Johnny Williams, and Jacob Galindo, that make up our staff for this upcoming year, 23-24.
Do you have a timetable on when you want to fill that final spot?
Obviously school starts Monday, so we need to, probably have someone here within a couple of weeks. I think, we do a pretty good job with the guys that we have, and we have guys that wear multiple hats, so that kind of gives you a little bit more time to take your time to be able to get the right fit. But obviously, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'd like to have someone here in the seat, as we begin our individual workouts and our team stuff, and as we move forward and move closer to, I think, September 23rd or 24th, 25th, I think is the first official day of practice. So we'd like to have someone in the fold definitely by that time.
Do you have, based on summer workouts, an idea of your go-to players for this coming season?
It's kind of wide open. I mean, obviously, you have players and you look at their past, their bio, their past history, some of the things they've been able to do in other programs, be it high school, junior college, or just the traditional Division I transfer. So we have an idea of guys who we think based on what they've done in the past, but you just never know. I mean, anytime there's a new start, a new program, there's adjustments that have to be made because obviously our playing style is probably far different than most of the places that they played before. But obviously we think we have a pretty good idea about the impact that these guys can make. But it's open right now. There is no set starting lineup. It's an open competition. But we have seen some things in the summer workouts, and again, what they've done in some other places that kind of give us an idea as to who we think can do what and how the impact they can have for this upcoming season.
Who are some of the guys? How many? You said you had one freshman in Orlando. How many grad transfers?
We've got five grad transfers. You got some returning guys, and got about four or five JUCO guys that are coming in. So, again, last year we had I think 11 grads, and that was too many. So we've kind of cut that a little bit in half. But we like the grad transfers that we have. The good players are good people. They want to win. They want to have a chance to compete for championships and get in the postseason. So our roster is comprised of different types. But I think in the end, I think they're going to come together and they're going to play really good basketball as a unit because I think they like playing with each other, and I think that they get along really well, which is really big for team chemistry.
Name some of the grad transfers. Are there people that fans would know?
I'm not sure. Charles Smith is a grad transfer from Old Dominion. Charles Lane, CJ Lane is a grad transfer from Eastern Illinois. Javante Hopkins is a grad transfer from Tarleton. He's a Fort Bend Travis kid. People may know him. Justin Niemert is a grad transfer from Eastern Oklahoma. And I'm pretty sure Ronell Giles, not a grad transfer, but he is a transfer from St. Francis in Pennsylvania. He's got a lot of experience that's going to come in. Nick Gasilas, I'm sorry, mispronounced his name, is a grad transfer from Montana State. He's a Tascasita graduate. So he's coming back home to spend his final year in college. He's a three-point shooter, so we're looking for a big impact from him this upcoming year. So I think we got 5 or 6 that we feel really good about and really excited, about the impact that they can have this upcoming year.
Coach, those schools you named are across the country. How you and the staff at Prairie View become so national to get guys to transfer to the Hill?
I think it's just what we've been able to do. The success that we had, like I said, again, we've been a little bit off the last couple of years, but I think we had a lot of success, a few years back, and just continuing to play good basketball. And I think, your reputation kind of grows, and when you know other coaches in other places, and you have relationships, and they kind of know you as a man, as a person, as a coach, and you reach out to them and say, hey, understand such and such is in the transfer portal. Tell me about them, and if you could you talk to, this young man a little bit about us in here at Prairie View. So I think it's kind of mutual. I think we've done some good things and established a pretty good reputation and, doing things the right way and having a really good basketball program. Having people that kind of know, how you coach and obviously these coaches know these players and what will be a good fit, what will be a good system for them. But basketball is, Chris, it's big, but it's small. Everyone kind of knows everyone in this business, and you just kind of make contact with these kids, and it really helps if you have a relationship with that coach that young man played for. Unfortunately, we've been able to develop and establish some really good relationships around the country, and I think our reputation is solid. So I don't think coaches have a problem saying, hey, I think that Prairie View would be a good place for you to go and spend your grad transfer year or your final 2 years or whatever the case may be. So we've been blessed and fortunate to develop good relationships that have helped us be able to recruit good players.
And is part of or a benefit of those strong relationships help you and the staff put together a non-conference schedule?
That as well, yeah. Sometimes it works against you. When you have a really good program, it's harder to get games. Sometimes people may not feel really good about matching up against really, really hungry teams, especially early in the year. So sometimes it works against you. But fortunate for us, they know that we're going to be competitive. We're going to come out and we're going to play really hard. And we always go into every game, no matter who we play, the mindset that we can win if we play our best basketball. And I think a lot of coaches want that. They want to test early on. Some may not as much, depending on where they are with their contract, or it's a must-win type of a year. Sometimes the Prairie Views, Texas Southerns, Jackson State, Grambling, Alcorns, those could be bad losses for a coach as well. But for the most part, it's coaches want tough competition. They know that Prairie View's going to give them that, no matter where we play and what time of the year. It's going to be tough. So yeah, we feel really good about again, our reputation across the board in terms of recruiting and in terms of being able to get really good non-conference teams to play us.
You mentioned earlier non-conference about the MTE. Where is the MTE taking place? Where is it being held?
It's going to be at Eastern Kentucky this year. Like I said, we got UT Martin and Eastern Kentucky. So it should be two really good teams. Play UT Martin this past season at their place in an MTE, lost by 1 point at the buzzer. So we feel, good about, going up against them, and I'm sure they'll be better. And I think we'll be better too this year. And then we'll play the host team, Eastern Kentucky, they got a really, really good roster. So it'll be real good, two really good tests right there, kind of at the start of our season. Games that we'll need to work and be really good at to try to get better and improve. So we think it's a good time of the year to be in that particular event. We like it. We like our chances going up against those two programs.
What are your thoughts? I got a few more minutes with Coach Byron Smith, Prairie View A&M men's basketball head coach. What are your thoughts on NIL?
Hey, obviously it's growing. I mean, it's the new wave. It's the new trend. We've had some of our players been able to benefit off of it a little bit. I think it's growing. I think more opportunities will come, for us as we continue to play good basketball and put out a good product. But I think it's good. I mean, I think it's fair. I know a lot of coaches are kind of, maybe in the middle on the other side of it, may not liking it as much, because I think the perception is that, schools are kind of, it's a kind of a amateur free agency, if you will, when you're offering kids opportunities. So I think as long as it's, if it stays within the rules and from which it was created, I think it can be good. But, obviously if it's, just a way to be able to, I like this kid on your team. What are you getting? What's Prairie View getting in the NIL? Well, I'm only getting, $500 a month. Well, we'll give you $5,000. Well, I think that could be a little bit difficult. Maybe it'd be a little bit tough to be able to deal with. Fortunately for us, we haven't been in that situation yet. But I do like, the concept that you can be compensated, for your name, image, and likeness. Because I think you worked really hard to put yourself in a position to have a good name, and it's your brand. So I think it's good. I think it's something that's been overdue. But as long as it stays within the rules and for which it was created, I think it's positive moving forward.
Wrapping it up with you, you played basketball, college ball at Houston. Mm-hmm. What did you do after that professionally?
Man, I played in a lot of places, Chris. I was either really good or really bad. I had an opportunity to go to Australia and play there for many years, down in South America, Brazil, Venezuela, Turkey, over in Europe. So Cyprus, which is right by Greece. So I had an opportunity to play in a lot of different places, and it really gave me a greater perspective on the game. I mean, obviously, anytime you can, get an international experience, and obviously I had the American experience, and you can kind of bring those two games together. I think it makes you better as a player, but I also think it gives you a greater perspective on how you need to coach. And as you see right now, there's a huge influx of international players coming over to the NBA and to college. So I think it benefits you to kind of understand both sides of it. So I had an extensive playing career, still playing a lot of basketball right now, still act as if I'm in the NBA or college right now with all my men's leagues, but had a really good run at it, Chris, playing a lot of different places, a lot of semi-pro basketball, even when I was done playing professionally. So I'm still at it. At 53 years old, I'm still at it. Still feel good. Not a lot of bumps and bruises, not a lot of cuts and surgeries in my body and things like that. But just getting that opportunity to travel, play abroad, see different parts of the world by way of the game of basketball has truly been a blessing for me. Something that I'm grateful to the good Lord to give me the opportunity to do that. And I wish that every young person that can't make it to the NBA to get an opportunity to play abroad at least for a year, because that just gives you just a different perspective, a broader perspective on life and the game of basketball at the same time. So definitely was blessed to be able to do it. Hope that every young person that has a desire to do that gets an opportunity to do that at some point in their career.
Did you have a favorite country?
Australia's a favorite country. I mean, obviously, you talk about destination places. Everybody that you ever talk to, oh man, Australia, you played there. Tell me what that was like. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to vacation there. So obviously, there's no language barrier. And, obviously they do a lot of the similar things that we do. We have a huge impact and influence on most countries around the world. Most countries, I should say, not all. But that was probably not even close to my favorite experience and places that I played. Australia, for sure.
Is there a country, a league that you did not have the greatest experiences and will tell your players, anybody, don't go there?
Chris, funny story. I was playing in Brazil, and this was down toward the end, and we're playing this tournament, and the referee made a bad call, or he swallowed his whistle, as we say here, and two of our players on our bench literally jumped up and chased the referee into the locker room. And they didn't chase him in there to pat him on the back. They chased him in there with some evil intent. And I was like, man, I'd never seen anything like that. And then so we had a game the next night. I don't think they caught the ref. I think he made it out of the building. We had a game the next night. It was a similar situation. And a fan did it the next night, chased the referee out of the deal. And so I'm going to say that I think Brazil is beautiful. The beaches and the people were really nice, great place to visit. But you better, if you're a player or if you're a referee or whatever, you better be prepared. If things don't go the way that the home crowd wants it to go, it can kind of be a little bit tough on you. So I wouldn't say not to go play in a place like Brazil, but the mentality and the passion for winning, not only in basketball but in soccer, it's pretty extreme. So you better be prepared if you go over there to play, for sure.
In closing minutes with you, just one more time, if you don't mind, remind everybody who's watching PV's non-conference schedule.
I'm sorry, I missed that part. Say it again, Chris.
Oh, just remind everybody Prairie View's non-conference schedule.
Non-conference, November 6th, Kansas Christian here, home game, Division II school. November 8th, Seattle. November 10th, Washington State on the road. November 14th, Abilene Christian on the road. November 19th and 21st, UT Martin in Eastern Kentucky, which is an MTE tournament, multi-team event, should say. November 29th will be in New Orleans against Tulane. December 10th at Iowa State. December 12th, road trip to Northern Iowa. December 18th, home game, North American University, which will be, again, here at home. December 20th at Rice. December 28th over in San Antonio, one of my favorite cities in the entire country, against UTSA. And December 30th will conclude our non-conference down the road at our big brother at Texas A&M. So that'll be a very, very tough non-conference schedule, but one that we're pretty excited about and feel like we can have some success.
All right, Coach Smith, thank you very much for your time. My apologies because the error was on my end. I'm trying to do new things here and I'm messing up my old days. Sometimes that's dangerous. So thank you very much. Thank your staff as well. And we'll keep in touch and look forward to seeing PV this coming season.
Thanks a lot, Chris, for your time and having me on your wonderful show. And all the best to you moving forward. Definitely a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. Take care. All right. See, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. So it was my error. My apologies there. And momentarily hope to be hearing from Rice Owls head coach Scott Pera here on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. Give a shout out to Ben Sutter, owner of the BS3 Network. Thank you very much, Ben. And Miss Donna Holman. Thank you, Miss Donna. Long time no hear from. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Hope you enjoyed that interview segment with Prairie View A&M head coach Byron Smith. And I'm going to, before bringing Coach Perra, going to let everybody know who does not know about the BS3 Network, what it is. BS3 TV, changing the way you watch TV. Download it via Roku. Get that Roku app, BS3 Network, or go to bs3network.com. Check out BS3.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and of course on Roku on the BS3 Network. Joining me now, Rice Owls men's basketball head coach Scott Perra. Coach, going to bring you in. I hope I can hear you. Hope I don't have any issues like I did with Coach Smith. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. That was my error with Coach
Awesome.
Smith. I can hear you fine. So, yes. Okay. For folks who don't know, Rice hired a new AD earlier this week. Your thoughts on the hire of Tommy McClellan?
Just really excited for it to have Tommy on board with us. I've heard nothing but great things from the people that I know that know him well. My initial meetings with him and interactions have been just tremendous. He's super excited about the opportunity. He understands the challenges ahead, and we're ready to lock arms here and get rolling.
Had Coach Byron Smith on. He mentioned that Prairie View is playing Rice again this coming season in late December. Have you finalized the non-conference schedule? And can it be announced?
As of yesterday at about 3 o'clock, we finalized it. I believe it's going out here in very short order.
So can you give a scoop here on the takeover, Coach?
Yeah, sure. Look, we have a tough early season home game with Harvard on November 10th on a Friday night, which will be exciting. We play at Texas early on too, and I think on the 15th. We've got a very challenging MTE that we're going to Las Vegas, playing Indiana State, New Mexico, and Irvine, all three terrific teams in that. We've got Houston at Houston. Coach Smith mentioned we play Prairie View. We have UT Martin. We have a very challenging non-league schedule, that's for sure.
And this is this will be Rice's first season in the American Athletic Conference. So your thoughts about joining the American?
Again, I think, it's just a great opportunity for our program. Our whole athletic department and our program as well, coming off, 19 wins last year and having a solid group back, adding a really good group of transfers and freshmen, a really good mix of guys that fit our culture. They all like each other. They had a great summer. We're excited about all of it, Chris, and it's a great opportunity for us.
Who are some of the returning players that are coming back this year for Rice?
I'm sorry, you're really muffled there. What was the question?
Who are some of the returning players coming back for Rice?
Oh, okay. So we have 2 fifth-year seniors. and Max Fiedler and Travis Evie. Those are probably people that follow us. Those are the household names for sure. Having those two kids, they both had the option to go graduate and go somewhere else. So they both want to come back here and finish their careers here. Says a lot, about them and about what we're doing. We also have Makai Mason, who made the all-freshman team in CUSA last year, back. Cameron Sheffield, who's been a multi-year starter for us. He's back as well. So just exciting to have such great experienced guys back with us.
And some of the newcomers, who were they?
Out of the transfer portal, we got Sam Alajiki from Cal, Noah Shelby from Vanderbilt, and Anthony Selden from Gardner-Webb as a grad transfer. Excited about all three of those guys. I think they're all going to help us. Again, they're all about kind of what we're about as a program, and they fit seamlessly into what we're doing. And then the freshman class, anybody that follows this and knows the city of Houston knows we got Keanu Dawes with us, and super, happy and excited to have him along with Gabe Warren and Camp Wagner, two other kids I think that can really help us as well. We got a lot more depth and a lot more competition, which makes it fun.
And Rice got either a new court or new designs on the court? Which is it?
Again, muffled, Chris. Couldn't understand.
Rice has a new court or new design? Yes,
yeah, brand new court in Tudor Fieldhouse, along with brand new lights as well. So kind of get a new with everything. It's like the big word is new around here, right? And including the atmosphere and the court that we have. We're really excited about that too. It's nice to have that big A for the AAC as the logo on there too.
And have you noticed a change in recruiting with the move to the American?
That's a really good question. And I think that goes back to Keanu, Gabe, and Camp. I think those three guys would all tell you, their decision to come here was definitely impacted by being in the new league. And the kids we're involved with now, maybe it would have been a stretch for us in years past, but we're now in the rooms with teams of equal and better ability than us, and also the academic schools that are in the Power Fives. We're competing against them, and so it's definitely opened those doors as well.
What are your thoughts on realignment?
I don't know. Confusion. So I just kind of stay out of it. We keep my head down, worry about our program, do the best we can where we are, and hopefully we have a really good year in our first year in the American. I can't control much of that stuff, and if you read too much of it, your eyes will spin.
What are your thoughts on teams like Memphis, FAU, and other AAC opponents for Rice?
Stress. They're great teams. Look at the game Memphis and FAU played last year, and now they're in the league together. How cool is that in terms of starting a rivalry, right? And then, North Texas has just been so good in our league for the past 5-6 years or whatever. And now with Ross taking over, I'm sure they won't skip a beat. SMU is on the rise. Tulsa under Eric Conkle. I know Eric so well. He's such a good coach. Tulsa's on the rise. Mike Schwartz at East Carolina is going to do a heck of a job there. The league is so competitive. Now, so is Conference USA, but American is going to be a nightly challenge for sure.
And with the move to the American, more games on ESPN Plus, how beneficial would that be for Rice?
Look, exposure is the key word, right? There's multiple reasons the American is good to us. You've mentioned one, recruiting. I think two is the now multi-bid league, and three would be exposure. And those four letters carry a lot of weight in the college basketball world. ESPN, and we're happy. Certainly happy to be a part of all our games being on some form or another on that network.
Regarding conditioning, it's still summer. It's hot. How are things going for the team in terms of conditioning regarding summertime?
Well, look, I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, so I hope they're conditioning on their own. They'll all be back here this weekend. They'll work out on their own, lift, run, get next week just to get acclimated to classes again. We'll start up on the 28th. So I'll circle back with you and let you know what kind of condition they're in.
I saw, I guess glanced at it. Something took place earlier this week on campus, like a fan event or something like that for the freshmen, maybe.
Right, it's called Rice Rally. It's an event for all the Rice newcomers and freshmen, about 1,200 of them, packed in Tudor Fieldhouse. Just having fun, being college students, getting them excited about what we're doing. I speak at it every year. I love doing it, and just gave away a few T-shirts. I think you probably saw that video.
How has Rice changed in your tenure?
It's a good question. I don't think a lot. I think the values are what are still the most important, and that is getting a world-class degree, whether that's under President Lebron or now President DeRoche. The leadership of our athletic department, we are all rowing in the same direction in terms of pushing these programs, hopefully towards championship level, the same under Dr. Cargard as it will be under Tommy McClellan. So, and we've been able to recruit just tremendous young men in our program that are playing now and some that have graduated in the past. So, it's just an exciting time. I don't think the place has changed that much besides the student body growing a little bit. These freshman classes keep getting a little bigger. But it's still, for the most part, the same core place. And I love that. Have
your goals changed in your time in Rice?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question, too. Absolutely. I mean, you talked to me a few years ago and, we were hoping to just, make some noise, right? Build a program. Create interest. And, I use the word sustainable all the time, if you remember. And now I believe we're in a sustainable point. We have a good program. We have 4 starters back from a 19-win team. We've got these newcomers here. We got experience. We got youth. And so, yeah, I think things have changed. We're pushing. We want 20 wins. We want NCAA tournament consideration. We want to continue to play in March. And we've played in the last 2. Hopefully we can keep that going. The standard now has changed a little bit.
In the final minutes with you, Coach, who are your members of your staff?
So Van Green, who's been with me since day one as assistant. Coach Greg Howell, also now, I believe, on his 4th year with me, and 2 guys that both played for me. And Russ Pennell, who's his 2nd year on the staff. And, I couldn't be more pleased with those guys. And we've had a lot of continuity with Van and Greg, and it's great to have Russ back. He brings so much knowledge and experience. And so, yeah, we're on solid ground across the board here. A lot of familiar faces, some new ones, and that's a good thing as well.
Two things. Green Light U, what does it mean?
Play without looking over your shoulder. Freedom to go make plays and be yourself. Now, under certain discipline and structure, but we let our guys be free, and I want them to play with confidence.
And then last thing, just invite all the fans to come to Rice, to the Fieldhouse this season.
Yeah, look, a lot of reasons. Besides the players I've mentioned, we talked about the new court. We talked about the excitement of the student body, the new league, just so many good things happening within our program that I think if you come out and watch us, you'll come back because of the style of play and the excitement that has been built in Tudor Fieldhouse. So we can't wait for November 7th, our opening night, and we hope that there's a ton of people in there supporting us. And once they do, we feel they'll come back and be season-long supporters.
Thank you very much, Coach, as always, for taking time to talk to me. I'll see you soon, really. Rice Owls head coach Scott Pera.
Always enjoy it, Chris. Happy to be on anytime you want to have me.
Thank you, Coach. Take care.
Take care.
And now, shifting gears, I believe she's ready. Coach Sharika Wright. How are you, Coach Wright?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to figure out technology, so I made a faux pas earlier in the show, but I think I'm good now. Head coach Sharika Wright at UTA, Texas Arlington, for those who don't know. Shame on you if you don't know. How long have we known each other?
Oh, Chris, man, we go way back. I mean, listen, I don't even know what the days, the years of it all, but I just know you good people. I think we go back to days maybe when I was playing, huh?
I
We
think
go way
so.
back that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. How long have you been head coach at UTA?
I am starting my 4th year here now.
4 years. Time's flying, coach.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Time flies when you're having fun. That's what it
Indeed.
is.
Okay, so you are having fun there at UTA.
Yes.
How many players do you have returning?
So listen, we have currently from our roster last year, we have 2 players that are returning with Smalls Goudeau and Nia Threet. And we have a lot of new faces. We're excited about, our program headed into this year. A lot of new faces, high character kids that are winners and looking to compete at a high level and win a WAC championship.
Of those new faces, how many are grad transfers and then how many are transfers?
So we have one that is a grad transfer, and then the rest of, I want to sit here and say we now have 12. I'm sorry, 12. I'm sorry, we have 3 returners. And let me go back to that with Cassidy Kinslow too as well. So we have 12 that are new faces. So the rest of them, either came from the transfer portal, JUCO, in which, we felt like we were able to get some steals late.
How has the transfer portal impacted your job?
Listen, it's I don't necessarily think it's an impact, a negative impact. I think what it has done for just me and my staff, it really, really has made us really, really pay attention to, really getting to try to know players and really figuring out what we need on this roster to be successful. What the portal does do for you is that if you do lose a player or to graduation or to the transfer portal, it allows you to be able to go find those players that fit your system, your character, your style of play, and all those different things like that and stuff. And so, with it being there, it's a lot. It's kind of like, you're at the pro level where, right, when you're trying to go out here and you're trying to figure out what's best for you. That's kind of what it's done for us at this very moment to be able to, reconstruct a roster and to be able to put a roster together where you can compete at a high level.
With so many new faces, what challenges does that bring you and the staff?
Yeah, first and foremost, one of the biggest challenges is that it's bonding a team, right, and building team chemistry. And one of the things that I thought that our staff did a very good job of this summer is really, really making sure that, we built relationships with those players. Those players got a chance to build relationships with, with each other. And so, we know that that's an ongoing process. We know that that just doesn't happen overnight. And so those are some of the things that we will continue to do, in our preseason, especially going into the fall. We start classes here next week. And so we have a lot of things in place to where we will continue to build that team chemistry, setting goals and making sure that those players understand roles and all those different things like that and in backgrounds of each other. Those one of the things that I felt like, again, was important, especially with the new roster. You got to be able to build that team chemistry. And so those are the things we will continue to focus on.
How would you describe your coaching style?
I would say, I'm a player coach, and what I mean by that is that again, I allow my players to be able to express, what's important to them and how they want to play. For me, my style of play is fun to watch, and that's one of the things that I pride myself on. We're big on discipline. We're big on our kids developing on and off the floor. And so, those are things I felt like it's been enticing for, athletes and for, recruits that want to come and play, especially in a great arena where we do have a professional team that's inside of here too as well. And so it's worked out. But development on and off the floor has been something that I've really talked on. I'm big on mentoring young women and building those relationships and things like that and stuff. So it's been fun for us. And we've been on a really big ride here. I thought, we've done some really amazing things here at UTA and want to continue to make history and continue to do more here.
Have you finalized a non-conference schedule?
We have finalized the non-conference schedule. We are now waiting on that to be able to come out here. We finalized it and then actually got a call the other day about changing a game time and stuff. So I'm hoping here within the next week or so, we will be able to release that.
Without getting in trouble, are you facing any teams in the state of Texas, non-conference?
Yes, we are.
Let's see. I'm trying to get you to answer stuff without getting in trouble. Are any of them around the Houston area?
No.
Shucks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You touched on it briefly. How or is it beneficial to share the arena with the Dallas Wings?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really big for us. I talk about Arlington being the city of opportunities. It's always big to how do you separate UTA from everybody else around you from SMU, TCU, North Texas. And what I've talked about is that it's a city of opportunities where we have a lot of professional teams here where you're having the opportunity to be able to play in one of the best arenas that I feel right here in the Metroplex area. And then on top of it, you also have a chance to be able to see professional athletes walk through the hallway and build relationships with them. And so, I think it's big when you can bring a recruit on campus and, they get to see, Satu Sabli walking through the hallway or Tierra McCown walking through the hallway. I think that those things are huge for us. And they're true professionals. They do take time to speak, and which I love. But, the Dallas Wings and UTA, we have a great working relationship with them. Being a former WNBA player, I think that was one of the big things for me too, as well as to be able to support them as they support us too, as well. So it's been great for us, especially with players that are wanting to go into sports management, to do anything on the business side of it all. I think it's great, but not just with that piece of it all too, is that we have opportunities where our student athletes have an opportunity to network early within their process, and not having to wait to their senior year to be able to build relationships with people in our community.
How long have you been in coaching?
Gosh, Chris, you got to make me start counting. So I spent 4 years here, right? 2 years at Vanderbilt, 5 years at Alabama, and 7 years at Texas Tech. You do the math. Try to count all that.
Really? That's a lot.
That's a lot, ain't it? So 7, 12, 14, 18 years. This is my 18th year.
Wow, Coach. Black don't crack. So I'll put it like that. Because how long were you in the WNBA?
I played 2 years in the WNBA, which was really good for me. I played with the Phoenix Mercury. And like you said, then prior to that, spent 4 years at Purdue University. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been a blessing. I've had a lot of success, at each level. And so I'm just really looking to continue that.
At what point did you get the coaching bug?
Whew. I think it would have to have been probably going into my senior year at Purdue. Christy Curry, who I play for there, I really admired what she did with us as players, with her staff, the passion, the mentorship that she gave to us. And even with my mother, even though, she didn't coach, but, growing up as a military brat, she worked in the YMCA. And so seeing her relationships with the young people was always really big for me. And so I wanted to, kind of stay in athletics, and so I didn't know really what that was. But then, as I got to my senior year and potentially being drafted, I said, maybe I do want to coach. I love March Madness. I loved, the whole experience of building relationships with parents and families and student athletes. And so it worked out. Christy gave me an opportunity when she got the head coaching job at Texas Tech. And, as a young 23-year-old, you can't ask for a better opportunity to go into the Power 5 level and get to learn at the highest level.
In this final minute and change with you, just pretend I'm a dad. I got a daughter, sophomore, junior in high school, looking at college. Why should my daughter play for Shrika Wright at UTA?
Well, great question, Mr. Gardner. What I would tell you first is that, again, development and mentorship, that's the biggest piece. This is not just about basketball. It's about life after basketball. And understand that your daughter will have an opportunity to learn life lessons here. We're going to compete at the highest level. We're going to play against the best of the best, but she's going to have great people around her. She's going to make mistakes along the way, but she's going to have an opportunity to be able to learn from that. And more so than anything is that, again, discipline, again, we're going to be held accountable, but at the same time, you're going to have the best experience. Good, bad, happy, or sad, we're going to address those things. But at the same time, like I said, I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be transparent. So I'm a mom, and so I get it, I understand. And like I said, I've had success at the highest level, so I know what it looks like. And, I think this will be a great opportunity for you to join.
Excellent, Coach Wright. Thank you very much. I'm going to put you on the spot if you don't mind.
Okay.
once the non-conference schedule is finalized and announced, will you come back on the show and announce it and discuss it?
Absolutely. I'll always come and support you. I have no problems doing it.
Thank you very much, Coach Sharika Wright. So when would that be?
Listen, next week. So we
Okay.
will have that done. So yeah, just reach out to me and listen, we'll hop back on here and we'll get it done.
Excellent. Awesome. All right, Coach Sharika Wright, thank you very much. So I'll see you next week then.
Sounds good, Chris. You have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All right, bye.
Excellent. Coach Sharika Wright from UTA joining me on the show, and thank her, Coach Byron Smith in Prairie View, who overcame my technical faux pas. Coach Scott Parra from Rice on as well. I want to thank AJ Jones for trusting me with keys to the kingdom for the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E and available on the BS3 network. So kudos to everyone helping me do this. I appreciate it. For those watching on all our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Roku, YouTube. Did I forget anything? I think that's all. I think that's all of them. So we'll see you next Thursday. And as well, put this up there. Interested in advertising on the show, please hit me up. As always, anyone new to the show, subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Buy the Roundball Review merch, like this lovely mug that I'm going to put up. Enjoy your favorite adult beverage in it. Houston Roundball Review mug, tote bags, shirts, tank tops as well. See you guys next Thursday. And remember, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Number 1. In January of this year, a 6-year-old boy shot his teacher in a Newport News, Virginia elementary school classroom. The gun belonged to his mom, and the child said he found the weapon in his mother's purse in the family home. Tuesday, his mother, identified as Deja Taylor, pled guilty to child neglect. Number 2. North Korea is confirming publicly for the first time that African-American soldier Travis King crossed into that country. State-run media claimed that King admitted to entering the country illegally and expressed a willingness to seek refuge in North Korea or a third country. The report also said King confessed to harboring ill feelings against inhuman maltreatment and racial discrimination within the U.S. Army. Number 3. As we continue our discussion this week about amyloidosis, today's feature continues with the question why that disease is so underdiagnosed. One of the reasons is because the mutated gene is found too late, either after heart failure or death. Luckily, identifying people earlier and giving them effective treatments has become easier recently with new detection methods and recently FDA-approved therapies. Number 4. The Black Male Achievers is a Black student organization at a community college in Tallahassee, Florida, but they may have to look for another name or risk losing funding due to Governor Ron DeSantis' anti-woke agenda. Florida law prohibits state and federal funding for student groups that advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, or other social or political causes. Only student activity fees can be used to fund these groups. They are considering new alternatives like male achievers or scholar male achievers so that they may not have to worry about not getting the funding necessary to keep that organization going. Number 5, emergency room doctors are claiming they are not prepared to deal with the increasing number of children with mental health problems. 500,000 children with mental health issues are seen in ERs each year, a number that's increased in recent years. Emergency staff can address mental health issues at basic levels, but not manage the long-term cases. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Being open to others' beliefs and ideas that you might not agree with is a beautiful expression of love. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with the girlfriends. Yolanda Starks-White and I will be talking about the top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, the American Heart Association and Black Health Matters. Barbara Scotia College at HBCU in Concord, North Carolina needs our help. The What You Need to Know team is asking our supporters and alumni and friends of Barbara Scotia to help them meet their immediate and pressing needs by donating to help Barbara Nova Scotia rise. Please join all of the donors from around the world who are stepping up to save one of the nation's oldest HBCUs. Please visit SybylWilkes.com for more information. And check out the celebration of Black filmmakers rooted in the HBCU culture, November 10th through the 12th, and that's at Howard University's Blackburn Center. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.